necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is Express Yourself with
The Professor.
Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself live on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I am very displeased with the service that BTC is offering because I am being turned around and around and around. We're trying to get service in my area. Not all the lines are off. And I know my brother also, his line has been off. Cannot get service with BTC. They are not giving us quality service at all. We've lost a lot of business. We've lost a lot of time. And all they could tell you is give you an apology. I wonder if they'll take that when I can't pay my bill. They cut you off for less than $100. Do you know that, Bahamians? BTC will cut your line off. Now, this is for the small people now, not them rich people who owe them all kind of money. And if the couple of people who owe BPL money like that, chicken feed money that is, because they owe hundreds of thousands of dollars, we're going to ask them for a listing of those numbers of those persons who owe BPL. I could speak about BTC because I get the bill every month. And they cut you off less than $100. Do you think they do that with Bahama? Do they do that with the Ministry of Education? Do they do that with Government House? They're supposed to be fair and across the board, but it doesn't happen like that. They've got to stop lying and deceiving the public because I am sick of it. I am tired of it. I am very upset about what has happened. I went to them today, having paid the bill, and they tell me the line's warm. And I went back, line's still off. We are being had with these strangers and foreigners and aliens and outsiders who run BTC. They're not giving us quality service. The people who you speak to there could only take a message. Then they got to pass it on to whoever the hell they pass it on to. And we can't get any service. This is the kind of crap that Bahamians have to go through, the small Bahamians. I ain't talking about them rich people who got money. They still got their telephone service. The Ministry of Education ain't get cut off for less than $100. They owe much more than I owe. You can't owe them $100. They come and cut you right off. But that's like an extension. That ain't no 2 lines. I'm paying for 2 lines, but cannot get the service that I rightfully deserve. And then the woman asked me. I almost told her a piece of my mind, but I had to calm myself today because I'm very upset and I'm very annoyed with the way BTC is treating the average Bahamian. I ain't talking about the fellas in Lightfoot Key and Old Fort Bay and them other funny places. I'm talking about the average Bahamian in Bain and Grantstown, the average Bahamian in Fort Fincastle, the average Bahamian in Mason's Addition. We are the ones who feel the brunt of it. And we're the ones who are carried hard because we're trying to struggle to make a couple of dollars, and they're making it extremely difficult to communicate. I just was able to get a new cell instrument today. But cell phones, every time you make a call, that's a cost to you. And the service I have at BTC, I can't even use it. I'm paying for it, but cannot effectively use the service. And that's bad. And this has been going on over and over and over and over again. You report to them, you tell them, the person sitting in front of you, they just make notes, say they got to pass it on. You don't know the heck who they passing it on to. That was not so under Patelco, because I used to work at Patelco. I was a cashier there. You knew who the general manager was. You knew who the AGMs were. You knew who the managers of the different departments were. You know who was in charge of 914, 916. But today you just don't get anything. Some strange voice. Now they got recordings. They're giving you all kinds of numbers. The service is not there. Bahamians, you got to rise up and help me with this problem, because this is a national problem with the telephone company. It is the government of the Bahamas and the Parliament of Bahamas that handed over these things to these strangers. And someone had the audacity to say 49% and 51% is one and the same. A political personality said that. The point is, we are not getting quality service. And I told the lady, I don't want to pay BTC 1 cent more than what I'm paying right now. Because what I'm paying for, I am not getting. My business being interrupted. I went there and I told them the lines were supposed to be on. I got back, lines still off. And this is what they keep doing over and over and over again. Babies, we got to rise up, you know. Because you have strangers, foreigners, aliens, outsiders that are in charge of the telephone company. It ain't like it was to be under Patelco. We know Patelco people. Back then, of course. But now this is, even when it became BDC, and then now some personality decided it was best to sell the telephone company to some strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders. And then we can't see the contract. We can't see what went down. But we know we're getting terrible service, very bad service. You can call and express your views on BTC, because I ain't got nothing good to say about them, except in one instance, just one, so I can be fair to them. When the line's on, you can get good, clear communications calling into the United States. And they tell me on that end, they can't make clear calls direct to the Bahamas. I don't know why that is so. But I know on this end, when the lines are on, that's the only thing positive I could say about BDC. Crystal clear, just as if the person was sitting right next to you. Now that's a positive for them. Now if they could give us service like that all the time, God bless them. But they're not doing that. Now another thing, there are some cell phones I cannot even reach on my land phone. The cell phones are BDC cell phones. I told this woman yesterday. And she wanted to know if there were any other numbers. Well, I said, well, I ain't quite sure. But I know I called some alive cell phones. I got through on that. But I don't know how many others out there that I can't get through on. But I should be able to get every cell call or every cell phone that I would be able to call. They say they got 2 networks, Alive and BTC. But I have a relative sitting right in the next room. I call in her number. She called my number. She can't reach me. But I could reach my brother in the United States, Shawnee, Oklahoma. It was hundreds of miles away. But you can't get BTC, their land phone, calling a cell phone that is a BTC cell phone, you cannot get a connection. Now, I don't know why that crap is like that. That's a local call. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there?
Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing bad
Hello?
today. Yeah, I'm doing bad today because I'm vexed with BDC. Did you hear me,
Yes,
ma'am?
Professor. I can hear you. I have another question, though,
Yes,
in
ma'am.
reference to. That's not the topic today. Tomorrow's Political Friday. But my question to you is this: the way that the Dominican Republic is deporting foreigners
Yes,
from
ma'am.
their country,
Yes.
can that be done? Can the Bahamas government do the same thing?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Yes, ma'am.
They can.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then my next question to you is this: for all of the land that has been sold, well, our Constitution says we, the Bahamian people, are the inheritors of this country, these islands.
Inheritors.
The land.
Let me give it to you correctly now. Inheritors and successors to this family of islands, rocks, and keys. Yeah, them fellas talking about they got a
Right.
private island. And you ain't got
Right.
none? You
So
should have a
that's
private
my-
island.
Right. And that's my question to you right now, because how our governments over the past 50 years, 51 years, have sold so much of the Bahamian people's land and private islands, can they be retrieved?
That is an excellent question. I got someone right here who could answer that, but I'm going to give him an opportunity to speak to it. I can answer it too. Yes, they can be retrieved. Because anything that's gotten by fraud, there's no statute of limitation
Right.
on fraud.
I
Because
see.
a lot of
I
these
see.
things, there's been land thieving in this country from that time. That is a major problem in this country, which has never been solved by the government of the Bahamas. They've allowed some funny
And
things to happen.
Professor,
Yes, ma'am.
and I totally agree with you, because we can't even get to our beaches anymore.
I am
Everything
glad
is
you
either
said that.
fenced off,
Yes, ma'am.
or rocked off. I mean, all of us are just gathered in the middle of the land. We can't even get. I don't understand how the government in this country allow people and businesses to come and close us off for our beaches.
Yes, ma'am. You asked an excellent question.
Well, I can tell you, between you and Mr. Cartwright and Mr.
Yes.
Hyler,
Yes.
I mean, this station and this particular show has been so eye-opening for a lot of us Bahamians.
Thank you very much.
And even me, I had to go and download the Constitution, so
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going through it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So thank you.
And
Thank you so much for all of the contributions.
okay, hold on. Don't go nowhere yet. Any questions you
Yes,
have
sir.
on that Constitution, you make sure and call me.
I certainly will.
Do
I
I-
certainly will. And
I
tell
can give you I can
I
give
was
you I can give you a word of caution. Don't ask nobody else. You call me.
I was at work.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I had to wait on a day when my boss was off, because
Okay.
what I did was print it out. So I have hundreds of pages here.
Yes, ma'am. Anything in that
But I'll go
document,
through it.
anything in that document you want to explain, you make sure you call me. I'll answer it for you.
I will be in touch.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much for your contribution.
Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
sir.
Yes, thank you very much. The lady asked some very interesting questions. Brother Hyler, thank you very much for coming. You say I'm going to let him speak in a short while. The point is, the lady asked some very important questions. The answer to her questions is yes. We cannot let people steal our land. You get it by fraud, we're going to take it back from you. It's just as simple as that. And ship you out of this place. We cannot have fraudsters smiling in our faces and stealing our land. That must come to an end. And it takes a unified effort by the Bahamian people. Let me make sure I stress this before I bring Brother Hyler on. Cartwright is not here yet. He's on his way. Before Brother Hyler comes in, I am saying to you, Bahamians, we have a strong constitution. We're going to have to use our rights, our freedoms, our privileges under this most valuable document. It is your most sacred document next to the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible, 1. The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, 2. That's a very strong foundation, unshakable foundation. You stand on that, you straight. Don't mind the foolishness what them other people say. They talking crap. The point is that you and I must unite like never before. Let me warn the Bahamian people. The big fight is ahead of us. It's going to be a bitter battle. But guess what? I have won that battle before I even set foot down once. Because see, with God, God always wins. I ain't going into this battle without God. He never loses a round, and he never loses a battle. That's why you have to put your trust in God. Because we've got some wicked people out there, very wicked people. And they like to steal people's things. They want to take possession where they have no authority to do so. But we could stop them. We don't have to sit back and accept the foolishness and the nonsense that people are trying to do in this country. This country belongs to the Bahamian people. That's in your constitution. And if you ain't prepared to go the Bahamian way, fine. Go elsewhere where you belong. We don't have any ownership in any other country except this one, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And remember now the name Commonwealth, meaning the wealth of the land must be made common to all qualified Bahamian citizens. Now, I ain't talking about them fellas who got a piece of paper talking about they is Bahamian. I ain't talking about that crew. That's a wicked crew. They got a piece of paper from some personalities who say they are citizens. Someone was standing up somewhere speaking to a group of people, and that particular personality made them particular people believe because that particular personality said they are Bahamians. They believe they're Bahamians. You think it just go like that? Hey, you stay right there. You think because a political personality standing in a crowd, speaking to some people, because it is said by that particular personality that automatically those people are Bahamians. It is not so. It doesn't work that way. So we have to correct a lot of things. So thank you, lady, for calling. Brother Hyla, welcome to Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network.
Good day, Professor, and good day, Bahamas. Just based on what you're saying, Professor, I'll just extend that by saying it is very serious when you have the Prime Minister of the Bahamas saying to foreign nationals, I is you and you is me. We is one. Y'all are Bahamians.
We got to play that tape, you know.
Because it's on video. It's not artificial intelligence. It's an actual occurrence that took place.
Yes, it did.
It is ultra-virus, the Constitution.
Yes, it is.
It is meaning it is outside the purview of the Constitution, which provides for sovereignty.
Yes.
For Bahamian citizens.
Yes.
You do not just interact with persons and confer upon them status.
Yeah.
You think we have another caller, Professor?
Oh, we have another call. I didn't see the producer to indicate to me. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Good afternoon. You sticking with that topic you on, or I could?
No, you could do that, but we want to talk about that fellow who say, I as one of you. They can play that tape. I don't know if my producer could find that tape now, but if he can, we will put it on air. Because we got to remind the people, because they just forget. And this particular person said some other things, and it was the other show. It was yesterday, Wednesday. Yes, we had Brother Thurston here, and he played a tape. What this same particular personality said to us group of, well, at least a foreign reporter, Then we come to see what happened when he came back here and what transpired since he had that interview with that particular foreigner and what was done and what was said then. Go ahead, caller.
Okay. BTC.
Oh, BTC is crappy,
Yeah. The service is bad.
terrible.
They will have you down in service, but when time to pay, they want their money.
And all they do, they cut you off for less than $100. You see how ridiculous that is? You think they cut off Bahama phone lines?
They know
Bahama
better.
owe them more than $100. You think their lines are off?
See?
You think the Ministry of Education lines are off?
Will never
You think
be
Government House lines are off?
so. Will never be
This
so.
is how wicked they are. Because I am very upset when the lady asked me how I felt. I'm very upset because I've been going through this crap for too long now. You can't even get proper service from BTC. In fact, my brother was waiting for now a couple of weeks just to get service. They came there, say they're coming back, don't come back, think they could got people who have business to take care of waiting around for them. They got to be stupid. Go
But
ahead, caller.
Everywhere you go, this is a problem. You go in the bank on a Monday morning, two teller. Could you
Yes.
believe it?
Yeah, I believe you.
I mean, and you get managers them walking up and down because the Bahamian are not crying out. They ain't making no noise. They're not saying anything.
Caller, I am glad you said it because the lady who called first, she had some very valid points. I'm going to let Brother Hyla express those points that she mentioned. The thing is, the Bahamians are too silent. We have strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders walking on top of us, kicking us in our backsides, in our stomach, in our mouth, everywhere they could kick us. It is happening.
And my two last point.
Go ahead.
Look at the food store. Look at the outrageous prices in the food store. Bahamian
Yes.
making noise,
Yes.
but yet still, Saturday and Sunday, you can't find parking space. See, we say if we really serious,
Mhm.
that just go maybe to the mom and pop store and do these stores in. But we only making noise. We ain't saying that is the reason why the man don't care and he price stay the same because
Yes.
he know the people are coming there. They crying. Now for you to buy food, you know, when I come to you and I say, Professor, I want a chicken dinner.
Yes.
You give me that chicken dinner. Right now they are putting the food now on the scale.
Oh, okay.
You hear me?
Yes.
So that means now you ain't gonna cheat me, and your workers tell me and give me more food than I supposed to get. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All
You
right.
see? Now I oftentimes hear people say, God live in the Bahamas.
Well, that's what Miles Monroe said. God
See,
lives in the Bahamas. That's what he tells me.
I can let one man tell me something that I know better. That
You don't
when I
believe-
go to the Bible,
Wait a minute now. You don't believe Dr. Miles
No,
Monroe? A
man,
good Christian
no.
like... Wait a minute. He's a good Christian like him?
I don't
Who's
care
going to
who
church
he
on
is.
Saturday? On Sunday. He's going to church on Sunday. But he said to keep Sabbath. You
Yes,
don't believe him?
he could keep it.
He said to
But
keep
see-
Sabbath, but he's going to church on Sunday.
Yes.
That's
Now,
what he tells the people.
He mix up.
Oh, he mixed up?
Yeah.
A good Christian like that? He get mixed up?
Mix up.
Oh, okay. all
Because the last time I read my Bible
right. Uh-huh.
said, God, the earth is the Lord, and He is everywhere.
That's what the man said.
He is in Japan. He is in Haiti. He is in Africa. He is in Australia. He is everywhere. He is in the Bahamas. Now, if he live in the Bahamas, you got to tell me which one of these islands in the Bahamas he live on. Because I'm sure the devil sure doing a good work here inside this Bahamas.
You
Thank
caused
you.
me to laugh at my guess. Thank you, Carla. I got to let you all answer these questions
After the break.
After the break. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We got a good start off on the show today. It's very good. I have my two special guests in today, and I think they'll be here tomorrow as well. And I'm delighted to have them. They have some interesting information to give you. To him, you got to listen carefully. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Fall is here, and so are the incredible advertising deals at Global 99.5 FM. Whether you're launching a new product, promoting holiday sales, or just want to get your brand out there, we've got you covered with unbeatable rates this season. Reach thousands of potential customers and boost your business before the holidays hit. Call 326-0271 or just email sales@globalradio995fm.com to learn more about our fall advertising promotions. Global 99.5 FM, reaching customers wherever they are for your success.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites students from grade 4 up to a bachelor's degree to compete in the Get Money Smart Bahamas video essay competition. Students must produce a 3 to 5 minute video sharing their views on the topic. The financial sector is unprepared for the potential impact of climate change on the Bahamas. Entry deadline is November 1st, 2024. For contest rules and submission guidelines, visit Get Money Smart Bahamas on Facebook. Go to www.centralbankbahamas.com or send an email to literacy@centralbankbahamas.com.
Are you feeling the chaos of everyday life? Behold the solution. It's time to book an appointment for your precious peace of mind. October 21st through 25th is Spa Week at Windermere Day Spa. You may need a stress relief massage, just $60. A revitalizer facial, $60. Body polish, just $60. How about a Swedish massage at just $88? Or you might just need that take me away moment with a deep tissue massage, just $95. Treat yourself to Spa Week at Windermere Day Spa, October 21st through 25th. 327-6135 or 6 Cades Village, or 393-0033 or 393-8788 Harbor Bay. Call now. You deserve
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Great vehicle performance begins with an exceptional oil. Choosing the right motor oil for your Honda may seem confusing, so here's one simple rule to follow. Look for the oil with the Honda name. Using Honda Genuine Ultimate Full Synthetic Motor Oil in your Honda will enhance your car's performance because it is formulated and tested to meet exacting Honda specifications. Available now at Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. We have over 60 years of experience in the Bahamas. As a part of a global brand, our training and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty on termite fumigation with the best payment terms in the Bahamas. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name you can call on, Rent-A-Kill Initial. Call us at 322-2157.
From South Beach to Bay Street.
I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself here. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. This is Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network. At Bahamians, you have an opportunity to express yourself, not only just to express yourself, but to take appropriate action where it is essential to bring change in your country. We have to change a lot of things, Bahamians. So we got to get busy because it's going to get very rough as we move forward. It is not going to be easy, Bahamians. I might as well give it to you straight. And I'll be calling upon you to assist us because we cannot carry this load by ourselves. I told someone the other day I can be in the thick of the battle because, see, I know I already won. See, when God tells me that he owns everything and he always wins, I go in with him. So I'm going into this battle. I can't afford to lose, and I'm not going to lose. We got scores of thousands of Bahamians out there who are waiting to have a country where they can be safe, and they will get it. And we will get rid of all of the evildoers that are causing us trouble. Because God said the evildoers will be put in hell. They ain't going to be around. He'll make sure to take them out, Bahamians. You got to trust God, you know. See, God knows exactly who they are. He's watching them right from his throne in heaven. We have to do our part as citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God gave us the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The wealth is not yet common. Because we see where one particular personality wants to grab $165 billion every single year in the hands of one particular individual. Do you know the Bahamian Parliament did that? It's in law, Bahamians. Now, what if the person goes crazy or berserk? Then what? That is a very dangerous thing to do. I don't care how smart, how intelligent a particular personality may prove to be. You do not put that kind of authority in the hands of one particular personality who could set up committees and boards at his will and fancy and pleasure, and then turn around and make the law say, if you say anything, we could fine you $100,000 and put you in jail for 5 years. Yeah, any crap like that. But this is what the Parliament has passed. We will get more of that because we're going to go deep into that. We had a sovereign wealth fund, and the fellas decided they're going to take that away from the Bahamian people and put a so-called investment fund where you get nothing, zero. One person holds the card, $165 billion annually from the seagrass beds. They're monetizing the seagrass beds. And we don't get anything, not one single penny. And then you got two Bahamians and a bunch of foreigners on these committees and boards that the particular personality would have appointed. That's the kind of nonsense that is happening in your country today. And some of you have forgotten about that. You gone sleep. But it has been legislated, and we got to reverse that. We got to repeal that crap that was passed in the House of Assembly by the Parliament of the Bahamas. But yet they say they're looking out for your interests. Every last one of them are guilty, all 39 of them. This is the kind of foolishness they're doing in 2024. Well, this happened a little before 2024. I think it was 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Say December the 30th of that year, when you all were out junkanooing. Say you all having a good time. You all fighting over Valley and Saxons and Roots and whoever else out there. While the fellas taking away your seagrass beds and monetizing them to the tune of 160 or thereabouts, 150 something, 160 something $billion annually. But then you are not even included, not even consultation. Not even consultation. And the Parliament has put this into the hands of one particular personality. All that power, all of that authority. What happens? Something happens to that particular personality. Then what? It is a very dangerous thing to do. Let me stop right here. Let Brother Halle come in, please.
I just heard the phone ring.
Yes. Oh, we have a call?
Yeah, I just heard
I
the
don't know.
phone ring. I'm not
I didn't get
sure
an
if the
indication
call
from the
coming through.
producer. If he gives me an
Yes,
indication,
yes.
we could.
We'll take the
oh, I
call
think no,
first.
but he has given me the indication right
Yes.
now. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Sid.
Yeah.
Good
Hey, how are you?
afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Let me turn this down. Yes, I'm just calling to to expound on what you're saying
Yes.
concerning just one particular individual that has
One particular
all of
personality
our
got
money, the Bahamian
100
people's
and
money.
no, I think I say 156. That's close to 160. 156 billion every year. Did you
Every
get that?
year,
Every
Professor.
single year, the man got 156 billion to himself, having full authority over it, not the government of the Bahamas. This one particular personality has that kind of authority given to him by the Parliament of the Bahamas.
And see, just to extend on that, those who are in the House of Assembly, they are well aware of the agreement, so you know they getting their hands greased as well. So why should we trust them in this upcoming election to say, well, to change the reins and give it to them?
That's a good question.
That is, listen, Professor, we will be done as the Bahamians. We will be done. You'll be a real jock donkey to give the reins to the other party.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you getting rid of one, but you just giving it right back to the same one. They only wearing a different color because they are in agreement with what is going on.
Okay, caller, just hold on a minute. One of my other associates here would like to speak to you, Brother Cartwright.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Caller, I listening to the conversation. And here's the thing. It isn't that every year he will get 156 because the beginning start or the assumption of the 156, that's an estimated value. It isn't fully monetized as yet. But the thing is this, the 38 members of parliament give him that power. So even if you was to change governments, because the way it was drafted, you still need parliament to bring the changes, not the government. So my thing was always that any member of parliament can basically draft a bill and repeal certain section of the investment fund. And the reason why is that you would want to repeal certain section of it. It will now take the investment fund out of the hands of the finance minister, one, and then you would then put it in a private trust fund made up of all Bahamians, or basically 99% Bahamians, where you have one or two members from the parliament sitting on that board, and they would now report back to the parliament. But my most concern is this. Our national debt is roughly about 13 billion. Think of this now. If they were to monetize this seagrass, what would you think they should do with that money first? Don't you think they should pay off the national debt externally and internally? And then take a portion of that money and invest it, and then you set up other funds and you do the same thing. So you now will have it's like you win the lottery, and the lottery is 56 million, and you pay off all your debts, and it leaves you with 40 million. And you would take 2 million and you invest it in this entity to bring you back some value. And then you take another portion in another entity. Imagine now, we here in the Bahamas, we live in a hurricane belt. We all come to that agreement, right? You remember what happened to those people in Abaco and Grand Bahama with Dorian? And you remember what happened to the people here in the city who had some minor damages? What did they get from the nothing? So imagine now if you set up a fund that is basically geared for national disaster, whereby now, imagine if we had invested a portion of that $156 billion going back, let's say 10 years. And we could have now had money in that national disaster fund that we could have given all of those people who lost their homes or whatever a startup capital of 100,000. Then you could go further. That we can now even set up an insurance fund separate from your regular insurance. Because the reason why I'm saying these things, because majority of the people in the family islands don't have insurance. And the reason why the insurance company don't bother too much family islands because there is no proper infrastructure. And so they're not going to take on that heavy risk. And so you will find that they would insure companies like businesses. But the average Joe, he's on his own. So it's like, if he was to basically look at this thing wisely and do it wisely, you see, because right now, any member of the parliament or the Senate can draft a bill and send it to the upper house where they'll have to debate it. And then they can look at this this investment fund and take it, because see, the way it is crafted now, even if you replace the government, because it isn't, the parliament on the whole have to make those changes. And if they don't have the vote, let's say you have a government and then your people don't want to vote to make the repeal, we still stuck. Because basically the sovereign wealth fund, whether it was that or this investment fund, was never designed to give the Bahamian public anything for them. And that's why I said that you can do so many things with this amount of money that you could turn around. And I was showing someone the other day, said, imagine if you could have sit down and you basically, the government showed you that they're a caring government. And every month you look on your bank account, you see, starting off from the first investment returns, they give you as an individual, 18 and over, start off at $5,000 a month. And each year that would goes up, because the more the investment turnover, the more you get. And imagine now a country where we have basically paid off all of our external debt, all of our internal debt. And now we have all these different trust funds branch off from one entity that is now taking care of not only the citizens, but also taking care of the country. Wouldn't that be, people say, oh, that's a dream. No, it's not a dream, because someone already give you an idea how to monitor. All you have to do is set it up properly in a trust fund, take it out of the hands of the parliamentarians, just have them on the board, and they can report back. And imagine your parliament said, you know, last year we invested $30 billion, and this is the early return that we see. We have now made $40 million, and this is not a complete return as yet. That makes you feel proud to know that your parliament now understand how you feel and takes care of people. We would now have money to take. Let's look at our social service. Social service is basically, it's like a child, baby sucking on his mom's breast, because that's how it's set up. We have problems in this country whereby if we think of it smartly, we could now alleviate both of our pain and suffering. All it takes for is the will of the members of parliament to stand up, put aside.
All right, hold it right there, Brother Cartwright. Caller, I want you to respond to what Cartwright has been saying.
Yes, I was just waiting for him to take a time out, take a break.
Yeah, but I can give him a break, because he'll go on until Christ comes back.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Now, Tricky.
Yes, sir.
This is your Buffalo Bill, man. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, man.
But listen, man. See, I listen to what professors always say. Look at their track record. These past governments don't have Bahamian people's best interests at heart at all. And you're going to allow them to go back in power only with a different color? I understand all of what you just said, right?
Yep.
But because of their track record, they ain't gonna give us a dime. Just like the only thing we guaranteed every term that it changes is taxes upon more taxes. That is always what we end up getting.
But you know why, though?
I can't take the chance. Listen, my brother.
You know why?
I can't take that chance allowing them an iota of a seat to even get back in there. We need change, and we need it like at least a decade ago, at least.
I agree.
And I'm being generous with that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you know, it's all what you said is all fine and good, but it's not going to happen under any of those previous administrations.
Well, so let me ask you something, and this is something I don't think a lot of people notice. every government that has sat in the chair of administration that sat in that chair, one time in their period sitting in office, had a majority. And if you look at over the last 3 elections, every administration that we elected had a mass majority. So if you put anybody in there who has a mass majority, think of this now. And because the leader wants things to go his way, how you think it's going to play out? You think it's going to change? No. So even though we want change, but we have to do those changes, and we have to do it whereby that we could get a collective parliament to work together. Because if we change the government like we did this last administration and give them a landslide, history is gonna repeat itself. I guarantee it. It ain't gonna change. It doesn't matter who you put there. It ain't gonna change. Because why? Because we look up to the leader to do things. And if the leader realize the power that he has, and which I tell people, this is the system where you have plenty power because you serve at the behest. And then you have to go to the parliament to make changes if you want to bring changes. And so it's a lot of the things people will tell you on the outside, yes, man, before it. I told people this owner, I went through it with Dr. Minnis, and I get my back all ripped up. I've now seen it with Mr. Davis. I tell him I got to sleep on my belly now. I can't sleep on my back no more because I can't trust these.
But listen, Tricky, I am willing to take that chance, my brother.
Well,
see, I know what I got. I don't know what I could get.
Well,
and I tired of getting what I have gotten over the past 51 years, 4 months, and going into 14 days.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of that.
Well,
I'm willing to give whoever come forward with 39 seats. I'm willing to give them a chance.
But I'm not.
I am willing to give them.
I don't have a problem giving them a chance.
Let him speak for the car.
That one name over. Yeah. Honestly, I can't do that no more, man.
I'm not telling you how to vote. All I'm saying is this: I'm
telling you how to vote.
No, but I'm telling you, yes, that if you give any particular party in this country a landslide victory, it is not good for democracy because it's going to repeat itself. I don't care.
Okay, so you know it's going to repeat itself. What we've been getting if we put either one of them back in power.
Well, this is how you circumvent people.
You that, my brother.
No, but here's
you're going on their track record.
Yeah, but
that's their track record, bro.
So let me ask you this: let's say we go to a general election, and we basically have a close election where basically the two leaders of the government now and the opposition, and you have a 1 or 2 vote majority could go either way, and the third party is in the play. Don't you think because we now have a very close seating in the parliament where it's a 1 or 2 seat majority, we will be able to get a better style of governance if we give a landslide seat to any party?
Brother, let me just say this like this, because I don't want to take up too much more time. With that scenario,
yes.
With that scenario, you get the one party out of the 39 seats. Let's just say they get 20.
No, I get them that much.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying, hypothetically speaking.
Yes.
They get 20. One get 9. Next one get 10.
Yes.
Okay, that's your 39 seats.
Yep.
Now, when all of the skullduggery come forward, Mr. Dog eat they lunch. You understand me?
I understand you, my brother.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand you completely.
The Bahamian people will say, this is what y'all was doing to us all of these decades. Y'all, they need to go to jail. That's what they need to do.
Yes, maybe we would get.
I ain't joking with that.
No, but maybe that would happen. Because you got to put that in law.
And if the incumbent government was to follow in their tracks, well then it will be total pandemonium. And I don't know. God help us all.
Well,
okay, caller.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. Let us bring Brother Hyler in. Brother Hyler, go ahead.
Well, why y'all bring me in when y'all start talking about skullduggery? Well, that's the thing that we here to get rid of, because for months now we've been talking about honesty and integrity. So let's get back to where the show began and what we were talking about. I'm actually here today because, Richard Cartwright called me up yesterday.
Yes.
He's very burdened. We all are burdened over what is happening concerning our people.
Yes.
But I can tell you, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, when he called me yesterday, the burden was greater than it usually is.
Oh, okay.
And it is concerning what is happening right now to our Bahamian people
Yes.
related to their land holdings.
Okay.
So I said, he said, Isla, I know we normally team up on the Friday, but man, if you could make it in or whatnot, let's together address what is happening with the land ownership and the challenge, how difficult it is to hold on to land and how it is being taken away from Bahamian people.
Okay.
So just to summarize and put it into a few different categories, we're talking about, just like you would say, Professor, the lady in Baintown, or you could say literally the man in Fox Hill looking for wives for his sons.
You got 6 daughters.
You have 6 daughters there. You're looking for husbands for the girls.
That's right.
So in Fox Hill, we reported on the show just very briefly, on August the 9th of 2024.
Yeah.
If you go to the Guardian and the Tribune and say, could I please have a newspaper from August the 9th of 2024, you go and purchase that paper. And what you will find is a notice that went out from the office of the Prime Minister stating that there's an intention to acquire land. So we've discussed it before, not going into any details. 20 pieces of property, the majority of which, 15, with homes and businesses on them, Bahamians. And the notice went out, we need this property.
Yeah.
Bring your claim to the property, to the office of the Prime Minister, and then, to go from there. So without getting into the detail of it, most of the persons that I spoke to, I went on the ground. I went to Foxhill, and many of the persons I spoke to were not aware of this undertaking. So we'll have to leave it right there. Foxhill, if anything is happening, please call in the show. Let us know what is going on, where there's Step Street, where there's Gray's Terrace, just call. But the matter, there's been a slowdown on that particular matter. But I can tell you that a motion was made to acquire land in Foxhill. Next, 100 pieces of property were earmarked by Inland Revenue to be acquired by the Bahamian government, saying, well, they owe money and it's too long. They've been owing this money and they got to pay this money now. As difficult as things are right now, 100 property owners, and a close friend of Mr. Cartwright, and he would comment as much as a sensitive situation. He will comment as he is led to comment on that. But 3 of those properties have already went out to auction. 3 properties on a list of 100 Bahamian-owned properties. Signs have gone up. I saw one on Wolf Road. Signs have gone up. The government is acquiring the property. When, in my personal view, in the view of Dwayne Hyler, the government is having difficulty paying bills. Everybody is having difficulty paying bills. We are operating at a deficit as we all grow together, trying to get out of financial troubles. But certain people seem to have been targeted and their land being taken, 100 pieces of property. And Cartwright, finally, before I hand it over to you, we have a situation where the court of the Bahamas had to step in. The court of the Bahamas had to step in, and Justice Ellis had to pass a ruling and say, hold on, wait a minute, not so fast. Not so fast. Inland Revenue and the Treasurer of the Bahamas has basically a group of islands in Exuma. 4 islands are scheduled to go up for auction. And let me get this right now. One Supreme Court judge told the government of the Bahamas to stand down. Mind you, they are a part of the government, but they're in the role of the judiciary, and we see the necessity of the proper administration of the Constitution of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
The judiciary is to be separate from the executive.
It is.
So one can check the other one.
Yeah.
One judge had to tell the government stand down, And the government did not. They went ahead and said in 12 days, we are going to sell off these islands of the Bahamas, 4 islands. And a second Supreme Court judge had to step in and grant an injunction to get the government to stop what you're doing, slow down.
Okay. All right, we're gonna continue this because I hear the music in the background. This is very interesting. I'm delighted to hear this, as I can have my input into it as well. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Fall is here, and so are the incredible advertising deals at Global 99.5 FM. Whether you're launching a new product, promoting holiday sales, or just want to get your brand out there, we've got you covered with unbeatable rates this season. Reach thousands of potential customers and boost your business before the holidays hit. Call 326-0271 or just email sales@globalradio995fm.com to learn more about our fall advertising promotions. Global 99.5 FM, reaching customers wherever they are for your success.
As we celebrate the season of Thanksgiving, Variety Disposable Products would like to wish you and yours a very blessed Thanksgiving season. Throughout the month of November, Variety Disposable will donate to Hands for Hunger and invite you to do the same. Variety is stocked with all of your essentials, such as food and cake trays, stuffing, seasonings, foil pans, and oval pans for your ham and turkey. Visit Variety Disposable Products located on Faith Avenue and Soldier Road, or call us at 341-9010 or 325-7071.
Summertime is for traveling and also shopping for back to school. The Brass and Leather Shop and the Luggage Store have exciting luggage collections like Land, Briggs & Riley, Tucci, and Travel Light. And ask about our packing cubes. Our back to school brands are worth a trip to our stores. Land, Kipling, Toto, or Herschel offer a range of school bags for kids and the college students. And don't forget to get one of our great Land leather belts. See you soon at any one of our 3 locations: Charlotte Street, the Mall at Marathon, on the corner of East Avenue and 6th Terrace.
Nassau Motor Company knows that finding the right part for your car is important. That's why you can count on us to give you a quality AC Delco part, like maintenance-free batteries for quicker starts and pressure-tested water pumps for years of smooth operation. AC Delco parts are made to strict GM specifications and fit most cars and trucks in the Bahamas. Nassau Motor Company, AC Delco, and you, a winning combination.
Why? Bahamian shoppers know when times are hard and things are tough, it's more sensible and convenient to shop at Y-Cares Fashion Center. Y-Cares has slash prices on brand name clothing and shoes by up to 50%, including academics, Clarks, Polo, and hundreds of jeans and dicky pants. And as much as 70% on selected items. Choose from a large selection of beds, sheets, rugs, and towels, all at affordable prices. Y-Cares in 3 locations to serve you: Bahama Avenue, Prince Charles, and East Street South near the Sir Charles Hotel. Y-Cares, where you can afford to look good.
Bahamian feel-good food in the right atmosphere. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whichever you choose. It's the Cricket Club Restaurant at Haynes Point, West Bay Street. The food is off the chain. Bahamian breakfast. We talking stew conch, stew fish, and sheeptown sauce. And for lunch, crab soup, okra soup, and pea soup and dumpling. Man! And for dinner, they got mahi seafood platter or steak and shrimp. Only $28.95 per person. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Cricket Club Restaurant. Call 326-4720 for reservations. Oh, and don't forget, there's a live band, The Magic Touch, every Friday night. See you there.
From Cable Beach to Montague, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
It's going back on. Yeah. We are back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. This is Express Yourself, and we invite you to call in 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Go ahead, Brother Cartwright.
Professor, let me just say, right, Professor, you could actually start up another show and you could call it the Professor Between the Breaks. Because if they think the show is hot, they need to hear, the professor, you are laying down the law, and there's no wonder you can be so confident in what you are presenting to the Bahamian people.
Thank you very much.
Let's turn to Facebook.
Sandy Brennan said this is a shared between both parties. Why do the poor and disenfranchised people continue to go back to and forth? PLP, FNM, Saxon Valley Boys. Sadly, that's the way it is. Some things will never change. D'Amico Bain, the Sovereign Wealth Fund was repealed by the PLP with no opposition from the FNM.
Yes.
Dale Ellis said anyone who's still pushing for us citizens to vote for either PLP or FNM, doing our Bahamas a grave disservice. D'Amico Bain says again, the country investing like a corporation, and the people reap the dividends. Smart move. You go further down. You said, D'Amico said, thank you, Mr. Collar. We have to switch governments out. D'Amico again said, we know that what we are getting from the PLP and FNM. Sandy Brennan said, Speaker, call it's time for this madness to stop. D'Amico Bain, all distressed property owners vote COI.
I believe we have a caller on the line. I think the Bruce is indicating that. Yes. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Sidney Walter Thompson.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Cartwright.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I was listening with interest. And I, as much as I love my trickster, I got to disagree with Tricky a little bit, and I will qualify why.
Yes.
When he says in terms of successive governments that ain't nothing to change. Tricky, so what you're telling me, I've been married for 51 plus years.
Yes.
To the same woman.
Yes.
And every time she go and come back, things remain the same. So what you're saying to me is, if I decide to walk away from that relationship and get another one, that things can be the same? Maybe the same?
Well, let me say this to you, my good brother. If you've been married for 51 plus years and you decide to move on to another wife, the characteristics that you had with that first wife, you mightn't carry all of it, but most of it would be carried over. And so even if you change some things, you're forgetting now, we are human beings, we are creatures of habit, and we like our comfortable zone. And so what I was saying is that with governments, it isn't so much the parties per se. It is the guy who's at the top of the chain who pulls the strings. So if you have a bad leader, everybody else who basically was selected to be a part of his team, because not many of them were chosen on their own merit, but chosen by him, they now feel that their loyalty is to him, whereby we know it isn't supposed to be.
Well, who controls how these leaders and stuff get in the House of Assembly?
Well, we the people. Yes, but we the people, and we noticed over the last years through our elections that a lot of times we basically said, you know what, we're gonna get rid of this guy and replace him with somebody else. And so happens that because we want to get rid of somebody, sometimes we go all out. And so sometimes we don't say, you know what, if I get rid of him, let's cut the head of the snake and leave the body, and let's wait for another team to wait with that body. We might get a different result. So what we end up doing? We get everything. We get rid of everybody.
No. See, we missing certain factors in between. We've been jumping back and forth. It's high time now, more than 10, 15 years, that we learned that the FNM and the Progressive Liberal Party are two heads and tails of the same coin. See, that is the mistake we, the people, have been making. And it's time we look at the leader, if that's what you're saying, and we replace them. We replace them. Now, the other highlight was talking about that he's observing some property issues that they're having out there. But my question to Brother Hyler and you and the panel and the professor is, why do we have to commandeer or take other people's property back when we got people squatting all over this country?
That's a good question.
Yes. But let me I say this way, brother.
Good question.
You know,
Thank you, caller, for your contribution.
Okay, all right.
One of the things that I have a real problem with is that it appears to me that inland revenue, which is supposed to be a government facility to collect revenue owed to it,
Yeah.
it appears to me that a lot of times they pick and choose who to go and collect funds for. For instance, you would find that when you find these resorts or entities that has an employment over, let's say 200, before they go and enforce them to pay their bill, they would come and take the little Miss Thompson, who has a little mom and pop store. And because of hard times, miss and pay, and they wouldn't say, well, let's go and talk with her and find out why she is not paid. They just said, okay, we can take out a notice, put it in the business section. Now, Miss Thompson might not read the business section. When she looked, she made a notice on her building. The government is taking your property because you failed to pay taxes.
Yes.
Without no consultation, without no dialogue. That's where I have a problem. Like, for instance, there's a property right there by Green Parts of East Bay. It looks like it's partly occupied, but the other part of it looks like it's run down right there by the park, Malcolm Park.
Yeah.
It's fenced in next to Scotia Bank. That property, I don't know if anyone has a business in it, but you've got certain section of that building, of that property, is run down. That's a commercial. Are they paying their full real property tax? Is the inland revenue going after them? And so all these things I'm saying is this: if you're gonna do certain things, do it fair, straight across the board. I went down to inland revenue this morning because I found out that a property that me and my brother own, and we're going through the motion of basically separating where I have the property all right. And they were asking me questions at inland revenue about the property, and I explained to them. And so they give me the documentation. So I said, listen, ma'am, I appreciate you explaining to me, but you need to get on these radio shows, and every one of these talk radio shows, please don't send a politician. Send you guys who understand and who can relate and speak to the Bahamian public about why and how you all are going about this program. Because from what I've been hearing through the grapevine is that those senior personnel up at the higher echelon of inland revenue is basically saying things that people say, and I said, no, man, I can't believe these people say that because they once was poor too. And they are making statements that Bahamians don't want to pay their bills. I think we got a caller. Okay, yeah.
Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there?
Mr. Cartwright, I just have a quick question because we were talking about the taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
If the Bahamian people are the inheritors of the land in the Bahamas, why do Bahamians then have to pay tax on what is ours already?
Well,
I just don't understand why Bahamians have to pay tax at all. I can see, like you said, business houses, or people who say, oh, they come to the Bahamas and they have second homes, then they are the people that should be paying taxes.
Yes.
I'll say this to you, Mr. Cartwright.
Yes.
Living in America, it's not even up for discussion whether they pay their taxes, but they will come to the Bahamas and not pay taxes.
Yes,
at all.
That's correct.
This is our land. What make us different from a foreigner? What make us different is we are the Bahamians. Even persons who come in our country and get citizenship, they shouldn't even have the same passport Bahamians hold. Our passports are supposed to be different.
Excellent
a different color.
Yes.
Something has got to distinguish Bahamians in the Bahamas as we come first.
Madam,
Yes.
We come first.
I totally agree with you, because here's the thing.
We come through the airport and everybody have the same color passport. Why?
Madam,
I mean, we are Bahamians. This is our country.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel your pain, ma'am. I really do feel your pain
Can
because
we?
I've asked members of the parliament, when I go in parliament, I ask pertinent questions, not because of colors, but as my concern for the love of my country. I have no other country but the Bahamas. I know no other place. And I just be grieved when I see that we as Bahamians are made to take the burden of everybody else who comes into our country, and they get a carte blanche pass. But we, like you said, we should not be having to pay taxes, not the ordinary citizen. And even if inland revenue tax the small mom and pop, have the courtesy to go to that person and say, listen, we noticed you missed this. And let them explain to you why. Because we all know this country, we have not fully recovered from COVID.
No, we haven't.
God knows we haven't. And you've had people who've been taking care of their families who live in Grand Bahama. So that means they got Dorian, COVID, all of these. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cartwright, let me tell you, my dad passed away and he was 98 years old. He was born in Grand Bahama, right? And when the Port Authority came through and Mr. Penland, who, yes, love him, hate him, I got a little bit of love for him, but him and Maurice Moore was the lawyer, the government lawyer, and they allowed the Port Authority to come and take from my family acres and acres and acres of land that the Port Authority now owns.
That's sad.
You understand? And what they did was move the people off their beachfront properties and put them down in 8 Mile Rock.
Wow.
You know, and Penland, Prime Minister Penland, was one of the people that, you know, our people back in the day at that age had no education. You know, it was just their land. There was no real paper to say that this belonged to them, but that was their property.
Yes,
because nothing was recorded back.
And they develop it.
Recorded back then.
Yes. And it is sad. You know, it's very sad that when you, and I always think about this, when you are a leader and you make mistakes, you must be man enough or woman enough to say, listen, I made these mistakes. I'm sorry. Yeah. People will give you more credence and say, yes, at least he showed some compassion. But when you do things, and then what makes it more frustrating today is that many of our members of parliament do not read the Constitution, do not know the Constitution. All they do is piggyback of previous policies, and then they look at you when you question them, or you trying to embarrass. No one wants to embarrass our parliamentary leaders. We want them to know to do right.
Mr. Cartwright, my last point is this. Like we were saying at the beginning of the show, how the Prime Minister went among the Haitian people and said, I am one of you and you is one of me. Y'all ain't Haitians and you is Bahamians.
That's what he told
Can we
him.
deport the Prime Minister and all of his Haitian people?
Well, if he could find, I can be frank with you, if we got the proof that he is not a Bahamian, he would be out of that parliament, not like yesterday, would be like months. And I would be one of those said, watching him not go on plane by boat to his homeland. Because that was that.
He's Bahamian now. He didn't say he's Bahamian.
Yeah.
He went in the Haitian village. He didn't come in the Bahamian village. He went to the Haitian village.
To me,
he said he's one of them.
To me, that is wrong. Yes. That is.
I will never forgive him.
No.
I will never forgive him for that. And he never come back to the Bahamian people and say, I was wrong.
And that's so these are the things, madam, I just tell Bahamians over and over. And I say, listen, man, when you arguing with these fellas on policies and stuff, you got to understand, if you don't know the Constitution allowed them to make policies. But these policies must line up with the Constitution.
Yeah.
When we got
That's right.
personalities, and see, I don't want people to miscrew what I'm saying with personalities who aspire to be in parliament. My thing is with them is that you must know the Constitution, because see, if you don't know something and I give you the chance, you're going to repeat the same mistake the guy before you did. That's all I'm saying. So I want people to go learn this stuff, man.
Caller, thank you for your contribution. We have some others on the line, and we have to move on. But thank you for your contribution. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hi.
Yes, sir. Sorry about this.
Go ahead,
Yes, sir. No problem. I think the lady you were listening to from Freeport,
Yes.
I think I know her lineages, and I'm not going to call it.
That's
but I
good.
think
Thanks,
she's
bro.
Cuban. I think she's Cuban. Has been Bahamian forever.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
would gamble to say she's a De Gregory. I'd leave it right there.
Okay.
One of my close friends. But anyway, what I call in to tell you that what I feel that is going on in the Bahamas today, that is a mist right now, is that, by the way, the professor, you just had a caller just now, and he asked Mr. Cartwright if my wife sneaked on me. How many times he said?
Well, he said he was about, if he was about 50 plus years.
51 years.
And the wife sneaked on how many times? Now, you guys know, Professor, you know your mother, my mother.
Yes.
You don't even look at another man for the rest of your life.
That's amazing.
That's
yes,
right.
yes,
Or we will
that's right.
dismiss you.
Yes.
That's right.
But this guy's ready to let his wife go out there, do things, and come back in the house, and you got your children with him, and the daddy gonna walk past the neighborhood, and you know Mr. Singham over there done been through your mother. We don't deal like that.
Yeah, don't deal like that. That's correct.
We are men in the Bahamas, sir. When a woman break your heart once, you go to God. You go to God. I'm serious. And you're going to fight with that for the rest of your life because you might love that woman to death. But you do not go back to her.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about the changing of this world today. We are becoming too feminists. And femininity, that's why we can't do a thing. That's why we can't raise to an occasion to strike him any kind of bones against anything. It's because you got to watch who you're talking to, how you say it. And you know you're suffering over here. Things are hurting for you bad.
Very bad.
And people are telling you, you know, your next thing is you might have to be violent.
And
now watch this when I say violent. Watch that word. Let me tell you something today. I heard the show yesterday. I couldn't call in yesterday. Why? Because my lights were off. And when I came on the radio, you, Professor, were talking about the lights going off. And I'm sitting here so frustrated. And I said, but you know what? You know, I had PPL on my case. I'm expecting to get it on before 4 o'clock so I could have chime in. My lights didn't come on until 6 o'clock.
Wow.
And you know, caller, you know what is frustrates me the most, right? These entities that provide us with services through our country.
Yes, sir.
Supposed to be part owned by us. And it's sad that when you look at it, that we get the worst part of the treatment.
So let me stop you right there. I will say one thing. They're owned by us and should be understood of what we are going through.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
And this is where I have them, because with you saying that, I also stopped by BPL on my way here, and overhearing a conversation by a member of their staff. She said, well, you know, this program now, what they're implementing with this low, give you time to pay. And she said, but what if these people don't have the money and can't pay? They can still go back off.
I'm losing you.
She said to me that, she didn't speak to me, but she's speaking with one of her co-workers, that this policy they now implement with them paying off their back bill a bit so they can have power.
Absolutely.
And she said, but what if these people don't have the money to meet that payment on a regular basis? Their power going to go back off. And I was like,
So we're a shanty town.
yeah. And I said to myself, I was like, so this is a game you're all playing on the Bahamian people. And I was frustrated because I was about to say, no, walk away, because you might say something, might find yourself locked up. And I was like,
thank you.
Why are we, and you know, looking at this system now, what we have with the young lady who's now the new CEO and the previous CEO. And I was like, why couldn't we combine the two of them together as co-CEOs and challenge the corporation to do all of these things that you say you can have Pike do here. Why would you bring in a company outside the Bahamas for 25 years to provide service that you should have here?
And can I add, has it been sold? Because I heard it from Lincoln Bain. I don't know, maybe he's a big liar, but he said this has been sold to Sir Frankie. Has it?
Well, I can be frank with you, right? The government have not tabled the details of what went down. And see, I don't speak
It hasn't been.
I haven't seen nothing tabled
It
in the
may
house.
have been.
And so when I speculate, I don't like to speculate because unless I see a copy from in the House Assembly, because when I go as asked,
Mr. Cartwright,
yes, sir.
if it has been or
caller.
has not been,
Caller, I'm going to have to.
these differences in billings today are so evident to everyone?
That's the problem.
My lights were cut off at $300.
That's the problem, sir.
Caller, I'm going to have to move on, but thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much for your contribution. We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor, quickly, why people would call a show to critique another caller and totally miss the point the caller's trying to make. The point wasn't the main fact that you stayed in a marriage for 51 years. Some people are like that. You have people that have Christian beliefs. Mm-hmm. And then if you lean towards the scripture tell you if you leave, then sometimes you gotta go back. Right? Mm-hmm. But the point I was trying to make with my brother Tricky is, in case you're a listening caller, was that if I decide to leave, however, whether it's a year or two or 51, am I going to make the same mistake again? Is that making a mistake? That's the point.
But also, caller, you have the right.
You understand me?
Yes.
But they won't call
Either
just
way.
grab something and run with it, and he ain't listening.
That's why I just tell people before I answer, I listen, and I listen carefully so I can give the good answer, because I don't want to. Because he asked me a question about a certain personality saying that the corporation, that I said I can't speak to it because when I was at the house, I didn't say nothing when tabled in the house saying that this has happened. And the last time I know, the prime minister did say it, when the ink is dry, he will let us see. So I'm waiting to see.
Well, he's been doing some things since then. I can tell you that much. All kind of signing of things.
See, what he signed, like this, I'm about to say the professor, he might sign things. But
thank you for your contribution.
Okay. But I'm saying this, he might be signing documents, but if you don't see it, you can't say, well, that's what it is. So I rather see it first. And once I see it, then I can say, okay, this is what you did.
So
no, but that's fine. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, brother.
See, well, Cartwright, I'll say it from the other angle, right? Like you said, if you could see it, then you could comment.
Yeah.
And then you could say what it is. So for me, from Hyla's perspective, I could say what it is not.
Yes.
It's not transparent.
Yes.
It's not open. It is no consultation. So therefore, it is non-constitutional because you're not involving the citizens. So we know what is not. It's not integrous. There's no integrity in what is happening with BPL. I don't know if anybody want to make a different comment to that, but we already read the law. The law says you're supposed to consult with the people. It's not happening before any decision is made. And IRCA is still silent.
Very silent indeed.
So,
okay, we're going to continue this conversation after this break because I hear the music in the background. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Are you feeling the chaos of everyday life? Behold, the solution. It's time to book an appointment for your precious peace of mind. October 21st through 25th is Spa Week at Windermere Day Spa. You may need a stress relief massage, just $60. A revitalizer facial, $60. Body polish, just $60. How about a Swedish massage at just $88? Or you might just need that take me away moment with a deep tissue massage, just $95. Treat yourself to Spa Week at Windermere Day Spa, October 21st through 25th. 327-6135 or 6 Cates Village, or 393-0033 or 393-8788 Harbor Bay. Call now. You deserve
The
it.
Central Bank of the Bahamas invites students from grade 4 up to a bachelor's degree to compete in the Get Money Smart Bahamas video essay competition. Students must produce a 3 to 5 minute video sharing their views on the topic. The financial sector is unprepared for the potential impact of climate change on the Bahamas. Entry deadline is November 1st, 2024. For contest rules and submission guideline, visit Get Money Smart Bahamas on Facebook. Go to www.centralbankbahamas.com or send an email to literacy@centralbankbahamas.com.
At Audio Plus, we carry a large selection of DJ and audio products like speakers, mixers, microphones, car audio players, and much more. You can also find a wide selection of musical instruments like marching drums, Junkanoo drums in a wide variety of colors, trumpets, clarinets, trombones, Yamaha keyboards, and Fender guitars at special low prices. Visit Audio Plus on Soldier Road, located in the Caries Plaza. Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Phone number 394-6668. Audio Plus, your #1 music store.
Great news. Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Limbo. Oh.
Man, what you doing way down there on the ground with that limbo stick?
Well, I was in a competition with Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center. Their price is so low. I want to see if I could go even lower.
You should know better than that. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center has general quality merchandise, furniture, homewares, and groceries, but their prices can't be beat. No one has better quality with lower prices. Come to think of it, I need to get there right now to catch those low prices. See ya.
Wait. You can't help me up? Oh, boy. That's Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center on Marquis Street. Good buys at low prices.
Here we go. There we go. How low can we go? Come on. Here we go now. How low can we go?
Steve Harvey here from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Everybody knows that I love to chill out with great music. There's only one place you can get this. Tonight at 7 p.m.
As soon as you clock off from work, make sure you lock right into me. I'm Liddy Green from The Quiet Storm, inviting you to come on over. I've got all of that R&B ear candy that you love. Plus, we'll engage in conversations inside of Confessions of Love and so much more. And you never know who's going to drop by. It's The Quiet Storm, all getting underway tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on Global 99.5. I'm Liddy Green from The Quiet Storm. Keep it moving.
From East Street to Blue Hill Road, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is Express Yourself. We invite you to call in 326-0271. 326-0272-813-0271. And there are still persons who are getting party and government all mixed up. It's the quality of the people you send to run your national affairs. The Constitution allows for political parties. We have quite a few of them in the country today, of different sizes. That's not a problem. That is a right that people have. They can have their political party. But that political party that has had the opportunity to govern and they give you crap, you don't have to give them that opportunity again. Because there is a track record that is there for you to examine and look at and ask yourself, are they going according to the Constitution? Because, see, anyone who goes contrary to the Constitution is not in your best interest, Bahamians. Why is that difficult for people to understand? We're not going to get any better as a nation if you keep going after people who continue to violate the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's not going to help you. You have people sitting in Parliament who don't know the Constitution, but you are asking them to make laws, Article 52.1, for the peace, the order, the good government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and they don't know the Constitution. What kind of nonsense is that? That is what we have been doing for the last 51 years as an independent nation. And we're not getting anywhere that way because you're looking at political parties. You're not looking at the quality of the persons you send to run your national affairs. When that person sits in a parliamentary seat, you have a political personality sitting in a parliamentary seat carrying out party business. That doesn't make any sense, Bahamians.
That's unconstitutional.
It is unconstitutional. But this is the mixing up that some people putting all this crap on Facebook don't seem to understand. Bahamians, I will do my best to get you to understand your Constitution because you don't have many. That's why I told that lady who called about the Constitution, I said, make sure you don't call anybody else. If anything you read in there you don't understand, you make sure call Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson. The reason why I said that is that very few, if any, because someone called this show and asked, are there any other professors of the Constitution? I said, I only know of one. There may be some, I don't know. But that question was never answered. And that just went just like that. So, Bahamians, you have to be very careful of persons who bring crappy information to you that is not constitutionally sound. I believe we have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, what's happening, man?
And good afternoon to all the guests and good afternoon, Bahamas. Professor,
Yes, sir.
I'm getting old now. I'm getting old. These young people got to do it. Professor, I can tell you what I can learn from you. Anything they write, as I go now, I may have one or two or three more. Anything they do, I ask in the first thing, Professor, you ain't got to sue me. Is that constitutionally sound?
Absolutely,
I asking them.
Way to go, my brother.
I love it. I love it.
I can't change my vote because I old now. But a lot of things I see. First, I can say this because you say 24 Article 1.
Yes.
All them, and first up, the National Intelligence Branch can check this out. Every time they go into that constitution, I was watching, and they ain't do nothing for Bahamian people.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I ain't saying nothing. I don't want to deal with me. But then you say, Article 24.1, I just saying it, Article 24.1, and the National Intelligence Branch can check it. Everything they've been in the Constitution for, nothing for Bahamian people. Not one thing.
Yes, sir.
Now, anything going by, I want anyone going near the Constitution, the National Intelligence Branch, check them out. Check, see what they about. Because all they was doing, doing all kind of funny business.
Yes.
And they just laughing, thinking Bahamian people is a joke.
Yes.
I mean, just laughing. Article 24.1, that's what I can hold on.
Yes,
everything they was doing, you could go and check it. And then that's what? These things in the place by where they're skipping where the bus is,
Yes.
these things right there, you could check them out. But first, I ain't getting in your business. I can stick with the Bible. Let me just go with it.
You sound like a wise man.
27. That's why I want with y'all. You all deal with the Constitution. Ezekiel 27. Like on. Y'all have a blessed day.
Yeah,
Same here, bro.
Thank you, God. It's very, very interesting. It is good for you to ask whether it's constitutional. We have another caller.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good day, Brother Thompson, and good day
Yes,
to your
sir.
guest.
How are you? Yeah.
Good day.
Well, Brother Thompson, I mean, this is a good show today, Brother Thompson. I mean, I hear you talking about the tax thing. I mean, if it's one thing I feel as if we shouldn't be taxed on, is when you purchase your land outright and you build your home on it. I
Yes,
feel as
sir.
if it should be treated as anything else that you purchase. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You pay tax for it when you purchase it, and that should be it. I don't feel as if the government should be taxing you property tax for land that you paid outright. And I guess it might be some kind of old law when the government used to give you land or lease you land, and then you pay tax on it like that. I can understand that. But once you then pay for your land, and I mean, you're paying so much money for it nowadays, so you shouldn't be have to pay no tax on it to no government. You know,
Okay.
I feel as if that's completely wrong.
All
But
right.
Brother Thompson, I heard, I think that Brother Hyla, because Brother Hyla was saying something about the things being non-constitutional, and the people need to be involved in certain processes. And I think he might have been talking about the BPL thing.
Yes, he did.
No, I mean, I don't know, Brother Thompson, if you had heard anybody else asking you about that before time. I've been asking you about that, Brother Thompson, if the government had constitutional right to get rid of our essential services, because that is something I'd actually look into months ago.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you're right.
You know
You're
what I
quite
mean?
right.
Because, see, that's the whole thing about it. If
Yeah.
something is unconstitutional, Brother Thompson, I'm trying to tell you, then we can't sit back and allow the government to partake in things, especially when it is something like getting rid of an essential service like
Yes.
our electrical company.
But that's true.
You know
I
what I mean? Because that
I
is
agree with
something
that.
that
Yes.
was made to benefit all of us, and it's something that is not only profitable, but it is something that the nation depends upon. And
Yes.
anything that the nation depends upon as a necessity to function, we as the people should own it outright. So don't let people talk about Bahamians should own it, because whenever something is government owned, it's already owned by all of us, Brother Thompson. You know
Okay,
what
I
I mean?
accept that. I
Yes, sir.
accept that.
And the whole thing too. I think I heard. I think that's Brother Cartwright.
Yes, sir, that's me.
I think Brother Cartwright was saying something about, like they playing a game with us.
Yeah.
And see, Brother Cartwright, what we need to understand is that's what politics. That's what politics is all about. We need to understand.
No,
where
but
these
bro,
things
Wait now,
originate
hold
from.
on, caller. There's
Hold
a
on.
difference there.
Politics is not a game, you know.
I didn't hear you, sir.
I said politics is not a game.
Some people.
Because
no, when
here's
I say
the
a
all
game,
right.
I'm talking about. Do you know where democracy originated from? Like I say, it's always good to know
Yeah.
the history of things and the creation of things. I mean, you need to go and study democracy, especially Brother Hyla. Brother Hyla seems to be one who probably like to do a little research. Brother Hyla, go and look up Socrates.
Yeah.
Go and look
I'm
up
listening.
democracy and look up what Socrates said about democracy. He said, as long as you keep the people ignorant, as long as you keep the people not being able to think critically, that is the whole plan of politics, because then you can divide the people, and then you can also come to them with promises, and they won't be able to think about what is in their best interest, but what sounds good. See, that is the whole creation of.
Yes,
but look all over the world and
Greek
and
philosophy.
look at how the world runs. I mean, the world is in chaos, and I mean, most of the countries that are in power or in a position to bring peace, right? We can't get no peace in the world. It's all about politics.
Okay.
I mean, so
It's
politics
about-
is not designed
yeah.
to bring solutions. You know, but what I want to say is this: we don't need any more party politics. What we need
Absolutely.
is we need a public who can hold the government accountable, like that issue with the BPL thing.
Well, that's why
so
you
no
have the
matter who is
Constitution,
there, no
caller.
matter who is there,
Yes.
as long as we, the people, can hold them accountable, then things can work. And we don't need people coming to say, let me lead first,
Okay.
and let me show you what we can do. We need activists. We need
Yeah.
people on the ground who can organize people and who can demonstrate the power of the people to the government. Like I said before, that no matter who is there,
Yes,
we
they
can
fall
hold
in
them
line.
accountable.
But hey, caller.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your contribution.
Let me say this to him one sec,
Oh,
Professor.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Caller, my view when I was younger, working at Botelco and looking at other things, I had that same view you started to talk about, whereby that I look up to the people running the corporation,
Yeah.
having all the knowledge. And I remember one time we had a company came from the US to sell us some products. And the fellow, I don't think he was realized that he shouldn't ask questions. And he said, anybody has a question. And I asked him one question. I said, where in the world did you all use these equipment that is similar to us, not only in strategically layout of the land, but the climate? And the man said to me, we have never tried it. The controller said to me, we didn't pay for it. You're going to have to learn how to use it. And from then on, I started to look at things differently.
Okay.
We can bring people in to help us with technology that we don't have, but we can train our people, because guess what? At the end of the day, it is us who have to provide service to our people.
Definitely, Brother Cartwright. Brother Cartwright,
yes, sir.
Brother Cartwright, and that's the way we need to think.
Yes.
Whenever we see our government bringing in people to like take over things from us, I mean, we could do it ourselves. You know what I mean? You don't need to bring in people to take our
Train
things
me,
from
and
us.
I will
You
do
could,
my
you could
best
bring
to
in
make
people,
sure.
like you said, Brother
Yes.
Cartwright, to train us and to teach us the necessary skills so we can do it ourselves. The government has all the resources to do that. So
Yes.
whenever they sell things and get rid of things, we, like I say, we need to question. But Brother Thompson, I've been telling you about that constitutional thing, Brother Thompson. So now let's fight to reverse that.
Yes, sir.
Let's fight to reverse that. Let's see if it's unconstitutional. But Thompson, you're always talking about that Constitution. But Thompson, let's see you in the head. Let's see you lead this charge, Brother Thompson, and we can be right behind you because it is not constitutionally sound. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you, my brother.
Very strong.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much.
Yes. We have a Facebook caller said this. It is not the people who needs to read the Constitution. It's the doggone government. If they follow that, we will be led in the right direction. Caller, I would say this to you, caller.
Go ahead.
If you don't know, and you have someone leading you who don't know, the good book tell you we all should fall into the ditch.
That's right.
That's all I got to say.
Now, we have another call.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Magada Walter Thompson, bear with me. Today I'm making up for lost time. Free trek. I understand what the last caller, very brilliant fella.
Yes.
But there is something missing there. See, like BEC, tricky, like you say, when we was at BTC, or when our company was named Bahamas Telecommunications Company,
yes,
the government could not sell it under those conditions because it belonged to the Bahamian people. What they did when they got in was they changed the name and they transferred the Bahamian people asset to the new entity, which was BTC. The same thing is playing out with BEC. Bahamas Electricity Corporation belongs to the Bahamian people. So they couldn't sell that like that. So what they did was they changed the name over to BPL. And now they're transferring the assets over to BPL. And that is how the politicians are selling off our assets. Of course, they cannot sell the Bahamian people's patronage, but they're changing the names and transferring the assets. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely, caller. Very informative.
You know, in the spirit of the last caller and the caller before him, speaking about, it's one thing for us to take a look at the issues, but what about the activists? What is the activity of the citizens against the actions if we say that the government is taking actions that are hurting us?
Yes.
Today I want to say that what is so interesting, the unions, many of them are getting together today. Not only the BPL union, the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union. We know they have two unions. They have a management union also. We have the Consultant Physician Staff Association. We have the Bahamas Doctors Union. We have two medical unions. We have the electrical unions. We have like 7 or 8 unions called together by O.B. Ferguson. The unions were called together. They said enough is enough. Now, let me say this. I'm going to go on record, and take the responsibility on myself.
They're having a meeting
today.
When they having this meeting? Did they say
today? They're saying at Labor House, Wolf Road.
Oh, Labor House. Okay.
Massive, perhaps the largest labor meeting, larger than Labor Day.
They're having it today.
They're having that meeting today.
What time?
I didn't get a time.
Did they invite the media? The media is invited today.
Well, they sent it out publicly, so I believe the media could go and determine what it is.
I like
they
on that one.
meeting concerning.
Yeah, okay.
I heard you mention the name of a one Mr. O.B. Ferguson.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't that the same O.B. Ferguson who signed a memorandum of understanding with the Progressive Liberal Party
That's right.
before the general election?
One and the same. One and the same.
So how is he gonna now convince someone like me? If you went and signed an agreement with a political party, and now you telling me then they're not going to give back the power that you sign over to them. It's the same thing as we now look at Freeport, with now with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Understood.
The Parliament of the Bahamas. They didn't thief that power. the Parliament of the Bahamas granted them the power to be a regulator.
Understood. Yeah.
And when they did, just like my former co-worker caller said, they changed the
name
of the
Yes.
grouping
Yes.
from the Public Utility Commission
Yes.
to IRCA.
Yeah.
So when you change that name, you have to repeal anything else
Mhm.
that you have the same, because you don't have the same similars,
Right.
because it becomes conflicting.
Yes.
And so what you have to do is repeal the section in the agreement you had
Mhm.
with the Grand Bahama Port Authority
Mhm.
and show them why you're doing it and bring them online.
Right.
But this thing we doing now, it's frivolous and it's frustrating to see union leaders do something and now they find themselves backpedaling.
Yes. Okay, gentlemen, we have another call on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Professor Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Kenneth Allen Freeboard.
Yes,
I'm so glad the gentleman said that. You got the knowledge, Professor. You got the Constitution. This is what I was frustrated for a long time. You supposed to be leading this ship, Professor. You got the Constitution. You know what's right or wrong. So you get us. We activists and we go on board. You got the power, Professor, but you telling them about it, and they ain't doing nothing about it. This is where the frustration come in. You got the power. Let's go, man. Let's go. They doing wrong, this Professor. Teach us and let's fight. You got the power.
Okay.
Thank you, caller, for your
We gonna stand in front of the bullet.
I don't think you want to take that bullet, Professor. Because he in the back of the line. He ain't gonna reach it.
You know,
He has the right to his opinion.
you know, we basically, winding down the show here, right? And see, with the union meeting today, Cartwright, you said very serious. Okay, you just came to the media and said promises were broken.
That's what he said.
You said the memorandum of understanding was not followed.
Right.
Of course, the government denied it. Now, the thing is, Mr. Ferguson is a King's Counsel, used to be Queen's Counsel. He is the highest level lawyer, attorney in the country, but he spoke no law. He did not bring the Constitution. He didn't reference the Constitution.
No, he didn't.
He did not reference law at all. I need all that meeting going on over at Labor House. How much of the Constitution is involved with your meeting?
But we got to ask him that if he
How much of the law is involved with your meeting? The
gotta check
government
that
is
out.
violating the Constitution. They are violating the law. So let's talk law.
Yes.
That's for the King's Counsel. They went against the IRCA law.
Yes, they did.
They went against the Electricity Law 2024, which came into force June the 1st.
Yeah.
That is being violated. They went against the Bahamas energy policy, which the present prime minister was the one who brought that forward.
Yes.
2013 to 2033. So what we saying, and we've read it in the past, for those that have never heard it before, we've presented on this show where the law, the paper, the guideline, even our energy guideline is not being followed. How? One common thread. There's no consultation going on. There's no publishing of the will of the people. Do you realize IRCA is supposed to be publishing what we want?
Yes, that's correct.
We don't have to pay for the ink. We don't have to wait until the ink dry. The ink that we need to be most concerned with is the ink on the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
That's right.
And it is not being followed. So we don't have to wait on who's saying the ink ain't dry on the paper yet. And notice that we keep getting these dates. 2 weeks, we'll be straight. Another week, it should have been done by tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is what is being said to us Bahamian people.
That's right.
So I'm wondering, and I'll leave it right here for the day, Professor. Highest concern is this. All those unions meeting in the Labor House, and I'm hoping that they go towards justice and not being gathered together to go in the wrong direction. And what I'm trying to say plainly, don't gather to just bark, just make a fuss.
I think we need to check this meeting out, but I don't know.
Get yourselves together and stand on your rights. That's where we need to be.
Brother Cartwright, go ahead quickly.
Well, Brother Harlow, Professor, tomorrow I like that open line show because this way I would like to end right now.
Yeah.
And also reserve for tomorrow because I think I will have to do some more and I can be able to express more of myself tomorrow.
Yes, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, we've come to the end of the show now because the music is in the background. That means I got to shut up. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We'll be here again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Open Line Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be here. We'll have our team here tomorrow. And you to call in. The number is 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. Have a very pleasant afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests.